On January 15th, 1966, in what seemed like a scene from a Hollywood movie, rebel soldiers of the Nigerian military, led by Major Kaduna Nzeogwu, eliminated 11 senior Nigerian politicians and 2 soldiers, while seizing 3 others. The coup plotters targeted the cities of Kaduna, Ibadan, and Lagos, while also blockading the Niger and Benue rivers within a 2-day span. Although the government managed to repel them, the coup succeeded in installing a new head of state. This event ultimately sparked the Nigerian Civil War of 1967 and derailed the country's nascent democracy, ushering in military rule. In this video, we will provide a detailed account of the bloodiest coup in Africa's history. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to NetTV. Thank you. In August 1965, 5 army majors, dissatisfied with the government's actions, began plotting a coup against the incumbent Prime Minister, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. In a memoir written by one of the coup plotters, Major Adewale Ademoyega, he described their motivations. Our enemies are the political profiteers, the swindlers, the men in high and low places who seek bribes and demand 10%, those who aim to keep the country divided permanently so that they can remain in office as ministers or VIPs. The coup plotters had 5 main objectives. 1. Strike simultaneously in regional capitals. 2. Arrest leading politicians, eliminate any who resist. 3. Prevent reprisals by eliminating all senior army officers. 4. Block troop movement by obstructing the Niger and Benue rivers. 5. Form a new government. They planned to execute the coup right before the Commonwealth Conference, hoping that Balewa would be too distracted to notice any suspicious army movements. In the weeks leading up to the coup, Major Kaduna Nzeogwu carried out reconnaissance on Ahmadu Bello's mansion in Kaduna. Nzeogwu frequently took his men on nighttime training exercises known as Exercise Damisa, which were in fact rehearsals for a military coup. The commander of the 2nd Brigade, Brigadier Samuel Ademulogun, grew frustrated with these exercises and reprimanded Nzeogwu in a phone call, instructing him to keep them a safe distance from Bello's mansion. Although Ademulogun complained about the disturbances, he had no idea of their true intent. Nzeogwu's control over his troops became so weak that he had to mobilize young soldiers from the Nigerian Military Training College in Kaduna. In the early hours of January 15th, 1966, Nzeogwu decided to turn Exercise Damisa into a full-blown military coup. He led his men to a bush next to the mansion's gates and informed them of their real mission. Nzeogwu and his men blew open the gates and searched the residence, hunting for Ahmadu Bello. After initially failing to locate him and losing his temper, Nzeogwu found Ahmadu Bello hiding with his wives. Ahmadu Bello was eliminated along with one of his wives who tried to shield him. Ahmadu Bello's loyal bodyguard, who attempted to defend him with a bow and arrows, was also eliminated. Nzeogwu's co-conspirator, Major Timothy Onwatuegwu, personally led a detachment of soldiers to Brigadier Ademulogun's house. Onwatuegwu made his way to the brigadier's bedroom, where he was lying beside his wife. Upon seeing Onwatuegwu, Ademulogun shouted, "Timothy, what the devil do you think you're doing?" Onwatuegwu informed him he was under arrest. As Ademulogun reached for a drawer beside his bed, Onwatuegwu eliminated him along with his wife, who was lying next to him. The head of the NMTC, Colonel Ralph Shodende, was also eliminated, though the exact circumstances remain unclear. The commander of the 2nd Reconnaissance Squadron in Kaduna, Hassan Katsina, was unharmed during the coup. Shortly before the coup began, Katsina encountered Nzeogwu, and it is speculated that their conversation may have saved Katsina's life. Around 2 a.m., Major Emmanuel Ifeajuna and some lieutenants from the 2nd Brigade headquarters went to Prime Minister Abubakar Balewa's residence. They overpowered the police guards but did not eliminate them. Ifeajuna kicked down the Prime Minister's bedroom door and led him out at gunpoint. Meanwhile, in Lagos, Major Don Okafor attempted to arrest Brigadier Zakaria Maimalari, but Maimalari escaped by jumping over a wall behind his house. As he fled, he encountered his brigade major, Emmanuel Ifeajuna, driving by. He waved him down for assistance, not knowing he was part of the conspirators. Ifeajuna, on the other hand, seized the opportunity and eliminated him. Lieutenant Colonel Abogo Lajema, commanding officer of the 4th Battalion in Ibadan, was staying at the Ikoyi Hotel on the night of the coup. Ifeajuna forced the hotel clerk at gunpoint to tell Lajema he had a phone call. When Lajema came out of his room, Ifeajuna emerged from hiding and eliminated him. The Army's General Officer commanding GOC, Johnson Aguiyi Ironsi, was tipped off about the coup by a phone call from Lieutenant Colum James Pam. Shortly after the call, Pam was abducted and eliminated by Major Chris Anuforo. Lieutenant Colonel Arthur Unegbe was also eliminated by Anuforo because of his close ties to Brigadier Maimalari, as it was feared Unegbe might raise the alarm. Prime Minister Balewa, Colonel Kur Mohammed, and Finance Minister Festus Okoti Ebo were initially easy but were later eliminated. In Ibadan, the Premier of the Western region, Chief Samuel Akintola, had been warned that soldiers were coming for him. After hearing rumors of a coup, Akintola traveled to Kaduna to warn Ahmadu Bello, but after failing to alarm him, Akintola returned to Ibadan and armed himself with a rifle. His deputy, Chief Fani Kayode, was arrested first. Soon after, a detachment of soldiers led by Captain Emmanuel Nwobosi arrived at Akintola's residence. Akintola opened fire, wounding a few soldiers, including Nobosi. After a gunfight, Akintola was eliminated by Nobosi's men. The commotion caused by the murders of other officers alerted Ironsi to the coup and was able to rally troops who helped him put down the coup. On his way to commence moves to crush the coup, Ironsi encountered a checkpoint manned by junior officers involved in the coup. Ironsi simply stepped out of his vehicle and roared, "Get out of my way," an order which they promptly obeyed before continuing his journey. When it became obvious the coup wasn't going to succeed, Nzeogwu handed over control of the northern region to Ironsi's appointed designee, Hassan Katsina, before being escorted to Lagos by Lieutenant Colonel Conrad Nwawo, where he surrendered to Ironsi. On the 19th of January, Major Kaduna Nzeogwu, the chief masterminder of the January 1966 coup, was arrested, and subsequently most of his other conspirators were also arrested, except for Ifeajuna, who had fled to Ghana. The surviving members of the federal cabinet handed over the reins of government to Ironsi. Aguiyi Ironsi, who took over as the head of state of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was elevated from his position as General Officer commanding GOC of the Nigerian Army to the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, having the command of the entire Army, Air Force, Navy, and the police. Aguiyi Ironsi suspended several parts of the constitution, banned all political parties, and formed a new military government with a Supreme Military Council. This marked the beginning of 29 years of military rule in Nigeria, spanning from 1966 to 1979, and again from 1983 to 1999. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Nativi channel. Goodbye.